So here it is, Monday, Victoria Day, and I'm just coming into the yard where I'm going to pick up my trailer. Then I'm going to go to Van Bella Nursery in Abbotsford for a pickup. Now my pickup was supposed to be at 3 o'clock, but they informed me it was going to be early. So I had a high beam headlight that was burned out my last trip. I replaced it. It worked fine. However, while I was coming along Highway 10, heading out here, I went over just a bump and dip in the road, and the engine quit for about 2 seconds. Just absolutely quit, and then carried on. I got a computer warning telling me that the battery, it says battery power lost with key switch on. I don't know, I'll put the camera down here. I don't know if you'll be able to see it or not. So that sort of leaves a little sort of thing happening in the back of your head. Further down the road, when I got on to Golden Ears Way, I went over another bump, and then I got a computer warning the engine quit completely, and I had another warning telling me to check my brake ECU, and so I turned the key off as I was coasting, had my four-way flashers on, doing about 10 miles an hour, and the engine restarted, and then things went back to normal as far as being able to continue driving. However, just about 2 miles before I pulled in here, I went over another bump, and the engine quit again for just a split second. However, keeping all that in mind, it doesn't really rest peaceful in my mind, because now I'm going to be picking up a trailer, and who knows what's actually going on with this darn computer, well, with the truck in general. So we'll find out, I guess. I just got to go and find my trailer now. There's a whole ton of them here. I don't know which. I actually have to look up the number of the trailer I'm looking for, so I'll put this away for now. So because this is a holiday weekend, you look at the traffic heading into Vancouver on the opposite direction here. I guess they've all been away for the long weekend, and now they're all heading home. So I'm glad I'm heading in this direction, because my traffic is very light on this side of the highway. That's kind of cool. I'm just going to pull in up here a couple miles for fuel. I'm using the company fuel card, which is awful nice. At last I'm on my way, going into Chilliwack, and about 20 miles up the road we have a favorite scale of mine, and if I can get through that scale, I'm light, so as long as they don't spot something weird or decide just to flag me, I'll get through the scale, and that's the last scale with the route that I'm going until I get just past Valemont. So that's it's always a relief. I just got this thing about going through scales. Nothing to do with weight. I just don't like that possible hassle. So it's a fair day. It's 4:30 in the afternoon. So I'll be in Hinton when that store opens in the morning. I'm supposed to give them a little bit of warning, so I'm going to actually phone them tonight sometime and tell them I'm going to be there, and hopefully they can have some assistance there with a forklift, a pallet jack, and 2 people to operate them. Just look at the traffic. I can't believe it. Is it really worth going away for the long weekend if you got to go through that hassle all the way back to Vancouver? Wow. And then you got a poor guy in a truck stuck in it. He's a bunch of guys in trucks stuck in the same traffic. Nasty. Well, we're just coming up to the Laidlaw scale now. It's just 2 minutes after 5 on this Monday holiday. Wouldn't it be a blessing if the thing was closed? I can't remember, well, I have come through here when it's been closed, but it's always been like after midnight. So, what do we see for a sign up here? Wow. Be still my beating heart. Look at that, closed. Well, I don't know what I was thinking when I said no more scales until Valemont. I've still got to go over the Coquihalla Highway. I forgot that I had to go down. I have to go to Kamloops, and then I turn off at Kamloops, heading towards Jasper on Highway 5 North. So I got to hump the Coquihalla, and there's a chance that the Kamloops scale will be open, even though the Laidlaw was closed. They probably take turns on holidays or something like that, because they definitely get the government job. They're getting paid double time and a half for working on a holiday. So we'll just wait and see. see we got a broken down fucking, pardon the language, broken down trailer ahead of me. That would have been fun to run into the back of. Well, he needs to get his triangles and flares, or whatever he's got, and get those out right away. I guess this is trucking. All I need to do, it seems, is go over a certain kind of a bump, and then my engine just shuts down. So as you can see, there's still snow hanging out on the Coquihalla. It just hasn't melted or thawed yet or whatever, and it's been known to snow here at any time of the year. Well, here we are coming up on the Kamloops weigh scale, and I had the engine quit one more time about a mile back coming down the hill. I had the Jake on, and things were doing just fine, and I went over some kind of a bump, and the engine quit. So it was kind of hard to get it going again this time, as I was rolling at highway speed down a hill. So I put it in neutral and shut the key off, turned the key back on, and I got a blank screen, which really sucks. So I turned the key off again, turned the key back on, and still had a blank screen. So I turned the key on to crank the engine, and it did start. So I'm rolling again, but whenever it happens, I just lose complete engine power and the engine shuts down. So I'm gonna have to just try and milk this one out, I guess, until I get to Calgary, where I can get to Volvo dealer. I have to do those 2 deliveries, and up ahead is the weigh scale now. So we'll find out when we get in there. It's brake check and weigh scale. So we'll find out when we get in there whether the actual scale part of it's open. I can do without that. Yeah, I can do without that tonight. I don't need any hassles. So I won't know whether the scale's open until I actually pull in there, because you have to do a brake check area, and then you can finally see whether the scale sign is open or not. Okay, so here is the good news. The scale is closed. So I'm just going to write this entry in my logbook and carry on. Whoopee! So I'm on the Yellowhead now, and it's just starting to rain a bit, just leaving Kamloops. There's a number of traffic lights on the highway when you leave Kamloops on the Yellowhead. I know my friend doesn't like me calling it the Yellowhead. I'm sure that we'll just call it Highway 5. Carry on here. I don't know whether I'm actually going to make hint tonight. I know I should, hours wise, but it kind of comes down to whether I get tired or not. Always the first day on the road is a hard one, because I've been up since 6:30 this morning, and you know, it doesn't show in your logbook how long you've been awake. But the time, you know, I catch the 9 o'clock ferry in the morning and hit the road. But legally, I guess I can drive till I think around 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. So like I say, I get a bit tired by the time I do my first trip, and it takes a bit of getting used to. I see some police action, car action over there. I hope that's So here I am at Canadian Tire in Hinton. I got in here about 3:30 this morning. It's now 8 o'clock in the morning. They're offloading me now. They had a total of 12 skids. And this lady in the back here is the person I'm dealing with, and she is really obnoxious besides being really fat. Problem is now I've got to supposedly have 8 hours off before I can move on to Fort McMurray, which is 448 miles from here. So I know just up the road here is a Husky truck stop, so I guess that's where I'm going to park, and I'll go back to bed because I'm actually tired. I just barely got a few hours sleep, and they phoned me they're ready to offload. Yeah, just up the road there. Well, I only got a few hours sleep and did that offload at Hinton. Picked up another high beam headlight bulb, and it didn't fix the problem. So I guess it's this lighting module that keeps showing up on my computer screen. So I'm heading towards Edson right now, and the goal is to get to Fort McMurray. It's a 8-hour and 24-minute drive from here. So what I'm going to do is drive until I get tired, and then crawl in the back and have some sleep. Legally, I've only had a couple of hours, but I have to have 8 hours consecutive to be legal. So I'll run up the road here, and eventually I'll park and have an 8-hour nap. So I won't be, well, I'll be delivering in Fort McMurray tomorrow morning. I'm not going to be trying to make it today. They won't be open by the time I get there, so I'll bunk down and have my 8-hour nap and deliver there in the morning. From there, as far as I know, it'll be heading for Calgary with an empty, but you never know, they might actually have a load out of Edmonton or something like that. So we'll just go from there. It's a nice day, and the truck's still doing its little thing where you hit certain kinds of bumps and the engine shuts down. Definitely have to get all this taken care of when I get to the Volvo dealer in Calgary, so I'll have to tell dispatch not to book me for one day when I get down there. I'll try and book an appointment with the Volvo dealer before I get there, so they know what I'm coming in for, and I'll actually have an appointment for the first time. So I guess you can maybe hear it on the video here. It's really windy, and with a light trailer, it's keeping me busy driving this thing, steering it down the road. It's crosswind right now, gusting, so it really keeps me busy just keeping this thing pointed in the right direction. I'd love to have that kind of a wind on the tail, but the crosswind's not much fun. So I'll just keep pointing it in the right direction, and hopefully we'll stay upright. I don't know what the wind's gusting to, but it's lots. Just kind of keep my eye open now for a petrol pass station I want to fill up, because I know I can't make Fort McMurray on what I've got. It was like 500 some odd miles to Hinton, and another 500 basically to Fort McMurray. I mean, there's a possibility I could make it, but I don't want to be sweating bullets looking for fuel. So I've got a list of all the petrol pass stations there are, or card locks there are. Finally, I printed that out, so I'll find one here shortly. I just have to look up the list on the list, and then we'll get fueled up and head for Fort Mac. And I'm going to give them a phone call and tell them I'll be in their yard for tomorrow morning for offload, because I'm going to have some sleep somewhere along the line here today. So if anything new happens, I'll put the camera back on. So I'm heading for Westlock. There's a petrol pass there where I can fuel up, and I'll fuel up there. This wind is not getting any better, and my fuel mileage is actually dropped. I was up to 7.2 miles the gallon, and it's now back to 7.1, and I'm basically on flat land. The part I don't like about the Westlock situation is that's where I changed onto a different highway, and there's a weigh scale there, so all we can do is hope that it'll be closed. After the long weekend, I would imagine it's actually manned, which is probably normal for that scale. I think I've been through it a few times. We'll just hope for the best that it's either closed or I can just cruise through it. Get some fuel. I'll have enough fuel to make it to Fort McMurray. I phoned Fort McMurray Canadian Tire store, told them I'll be sitting outside of their store when they arrive in the morning, and that we need forklift and pallet jack and people to operate both of them. So hopefully they're going to be able to offload me there, and from that point, as far as I know, I'll have to get a hold of my dispatch and find out whether I'm just going to drag this empty down to Calgary. That would be a nice haul for me. So I just hope for the best. It's a beautiful day, other than the wind. Blue sky, sunshine, warm. So let's just hope the day carries on the same way. Of course, I still have the same problem when I go over the odd bump. That's the kind that I guess bounces the back of the tractor, and that's the kind that makes the engine shut down. However, I'm learning to live with it, and we'll get that fixed when we get to Calgary. A little bit of a dust storm here. I actually had a little tornado happening there just a minute. So here I am on Highway 44, heading into Westlock, where I'm going to get some fuel, and then I go on to Highway 18 after that. So right now I'm heading due north, and Jerry, my dispatcher, has sent me a couple of text messages. The last two I haven't had a chance to read, because I can't read them when I'm running down the road like this. The print's too small for my eyeballs, as well as I don't think it's safe. I did talk to him on the phone a few minutes back, and he was upset that they had changed the routing for this load, where it was initially going to go to Fort McMurray first, and then first drop and second drop would be in Hinton. And they reversed it because it makes more sense, because otherwise I was going to drive through Hinton anyway on my way to Fort McMurray, and then go back to Hinton would be silly. However, he's not very happy with that, because one thing, they didn't tell him that they had reversed and changed their mind. Plus, the money they get paid is the same as me. We get paid by the mile, so they would have made more money. Yeah, so I shut the camera off quickly there. There was a police officer sitting at that intersection, and they're liable to see my hand up like this holding the camera and figure that it's a cell phone and I'm phoning or texting, or in Alberta they just call it a distractive driving law. So anything that they think might distract you from your driving gets covered under that law. In any case, I'll read, when I stop for fuel, I'll read these two last text messages. Gary thought he had a round trip for me from Calgary to Vancouver and back. So far I've only had about 3 hours sleep, and I'll have to stop probably somewhere before I get to Fort McMurray and have an actual 8-hour break to be legal. I've already taken 2 hours or 3 hours in Hinton, but I can't just keep running. And there's a huge weigh scale inspection station at Fort McMurray that I'm aware of. It's very large, and it's manned pretty much all the time because of all the heavy truckloads coming out of the Fort McMurray area and truckloads coming in. So I'm going to be legal. I'm not going to play these silly little games. As I say, Jerry seems to think I'm flying an airplane here or something, and I don't need sleep. So I'll push it as far as I want to, and then I'll call it a day. Okay, so I just fueled up here in Westlock, and you can see the dirt blowing through here. It's a dirt yard, and pumps. This is pretty much it. It's not unusual for the Petropass stations to be off the highway, and really pretty shabby compared to regular truck stops. However, it's on their card, so I'm out of here. 241 miles to go to Fort Mac, so I'm going to head out of here and just plod along until I get tired and call it a night. So I just turned back onto the highway here from Westlock from getting fuel, and there's a weigh scale ahead. I hope it's a typical Alberta weigh scale and it's closed. When I just got rolling here. So there's the weigh scale sign, 2 kilometers ahead. So what I wait and pray for now is that their amber lights aren't flashing that tells you to pull into the scale. They don't use the same system as we do in BC, where we have an open-close sign. They just have amber lights that they have on a sign on the highway, and if the lights are flashing, that means you pull into the scale. So far, it's looking good. My eyesight's not the greatest at bright sunlight. It's not the greatest in the dark, but those are the lights that are not flashing, which means that the scale's closed. So we should be good to go from here to Fort McMurray, I do believe. So I'm heading east right now. I'm 172 miles away from Fort McMurray, and I just see a whole bunch of stuff billowing up into the sky up ahead here. Don't know whether it's a mill or what it is, but it's a lot of pollution, I know that much. The cool thing is that we're getting close to Fort McMurray, which is pollution capital of Canada. I'm hoping that when I get there I can pick up some more fuel at bargain prices. Seems that's where it comes from. This kind of looks a little bit weird up ahead here. I don't know whether it's a mill or a fire or what the heck, but it's sure poking out a whole pile of smoke. Now I see a big puff of black smoke coming up. Hard to say. Guess I'll just I'll keep the camera on here for a wee bit, figure out what quit. No, it stayed running. Every once in a while, there's just certain kinds of bumps that seem to affect it. Well, I don't know. I guess I won't get to see it because, like I say, I got the little lady's telling me I have to hang a left up ahead here, and it looks like that smoke's further up ahead than where I'm going to turn. Well, darn, I never got to see where all that smoke was coming from. I guess maybe a farmer's burning off a field, that's a possibility. This trip to Fort McMurray has got a lot of zigzags in it, so I just switched from Highway 2, I think I was on. Now I'm on Highway 55. And I only go along here for 14 miles, and I'm heading north right now. And in 12 miles, it wants me to turn left onto Highway 63. So that's kind of weird, because if I'm heading north and I'm hanging a left, that means I'm heading west. But it'll probably be one of these things where I just go west for maybe 10 miles or something and then switch around and head north again. I know there's a lot of zigzags to get there. Eventually you get onto the last stretch of the highway, which is just straight through to Fort Mac. So that'll be cool. Highways have been good. Roads have been good. Weather's been good. Truck's not so good. But I've learned to live with it. As my driving instructor once told me, that's truckin'. So a fire truck just went past with his lights flashing, coming the opposite direction. So I guess he's heading for where all that smoke's coming from. Yeah, I never seem to have this camera handy when I want it, or right where I want it. I had to pull off the side of the road and let the fire truck go by. And be interesting to know what was going on back there. Okay, so we got another fire truck coming towards us. That appeared to be a water truck. Oh, and here comes another one. Wonder what this one's hauling. Looks like water as well. So I guess whatever that smoke was back there, it's serious. They got 2 water trucks and a fire truck went past so far. In any case, I just got to carry on. I don't have a choice. 7 miles, I'm going to hang a left on Highway 63. Okay, now we're on Highway 63. This is the last leg of the trip. This leg runs for 152 miles, and like I say, I know there's a major wave scale when you get close to Fort McMurray, so I'm going to find some place to park the truck and have a snooze so that I don't have to go through the scale. And that'll give me time to wake up and kind of drive at night and park outside their store. So I'll be sitting there in the morning. It'll also make my logbook legal. Yeah, some activity along the side of the highway here. No idea whether they're putting in a pipeline can't be for widening the highway, that's for sure. Anyhow, there's lots of activity, I'm sure, up here. I don't know how much of it I'm going to see, because I'm really just going into the town of Fort McMurray, so I won't be out where the tar sands and all the big stuff is. Yeah, so whatever they're doing on the side of the highway here, when I shut the camera off a little while ago, this has been going on for miles and miles and miles. So one can only guess it's got to be something to do with like pipeline. I can't figure out what else it could possibly be. And like I say, I just sort of was following it for when I look ahead, it just goes on and on and on. And it would be pretty silly if that was all this was just to widen the highway. And that doesn't make any sense at all. So one can only assume it's something to do with pipeline. Something to do with oil and tar sands. It's money, that's for sure. The speed limit along here is 100 kilometers per hour, and that's exactly what I'm doing. And I've got probably 20 or 25 cars stacked up behind me. So as soon as I get a chance for like a roadside pullout, I'll take it and let these clowns go by. I always just get a kick out of it. I pretty much do the speed limit, and nobody in this province does the speed limit. If it's 100 clicks, they do 100, maybe 130, 140. That's the norm for this area. So, like I say, when I get a roadside pull out or opportunity, I'll pull over, let these clowns go by. I'm not in any rush, even though I get paid by the mile. I guess these people are in such a rush that they must get paid by the second or minute or something. In any case, this construction thing on the side of the road is still going on. It's been for, I don't know, 20, 30, I guess maybe 30 miles so far. And it looks like it just keeps on going. So I guess, like I said earlier, I guess it's pipeline. I finally came up to a turnout so I could let all that traffic go by, and I thought maybe I'd have a sandwich, so I stopped here and had a sandwich. This truck actually runs on diesel fuel and Clamato or garden cocktail vegetable juice and repair bills. That's what keeps this truck going. Sounds really simple, doesn't it? It's quite funny because I'm sitting at this roadside pullout, and I've been here for probably 20 minutes or more, and in this length of time I've seen 2 cars pull in behind me, and the guy steps out and hides off to one side and has a pee. And I don't know whether this guy in front of me is going to do the same, but it's like really quite funny that what they need to do is put it like 100-foot long urinal along these pullouts, because there's been a lot of people peeing here for a long time. Oh dear, humorous. And when they do put the porta potties out here or whatever, they are so filthy dirty that nobody wants to ever get in and use them. So looks like this guy's actually not going to pee. I'm certainly not saying that I'm not guilty of it. So this is the Fort McMurray sky ahead of us at 3:30 in the morning. I'm heading down to Canadian Tire now. I had to have some sleep, so I slept till 3:30 and got up, hit the road. This is what the sky looks like at 3:30 in the morning. I'm 43 miles away from my location of Canadian Tire. The traffic at this time of the morning is still unreal. It's a big rest area that's only 11 miles out of town here at Fort McMurray, and it looks like it gets well used. I don't know how well it'll show up here on the camera. The major weigh scale was closed. It's behind me. I would say no doubt it'll be open when I'm leaving and heading home. I'll be empty, so the only thing I have to worry about there is the stop bring papers thing just out of the blue. So the main thing is it was closed coming through here now. That always makes me a happy camper. This is like 4 o'clock in the morning, and this is how much daylight we have. So it's 5:30 a.m. local time, and I have no idea what time they're going to arrive to unload. I was here last year, and I remember this one really well. At the far end down there, where those people are walking, that's where I came in last year, and I came in frontwards, nose first. And I was hoping I could get back out the other end here. In any case, I had to back out across the road that I turned in off of, and later in the day that road's fairly busy. So today I was able to come in through the parking lot, and you can see it's still got lots of cars in it. I don't know why they've got all the cars there from last night, or I guess they just regularly park there. But I was able to wiggle my way through these lamp standard islands and get around the corner just up here, right where that pickup truck is. I could have done without him being there, but I was able to get around, so I'm pointing the right direction for egress. And this is also the same store that I ended up parking right outside their front door, the same as I am again this year. And this is the store where all the Muslims were coming and going out through the front door here. So I'll be interested to see if we still have a ton of Muslims. All these shrubs here, I didn't bring them, somebody else brought them. And the ones beside me are turning brown, and I don't know whether they've been nipped by frost or what. If you look down at the pots, they're completely dry. They've never seen a drop of water, so it's no wonder that they're turning brown. I sure hope they send 2 people so I can get this thing unloaded and heading for Calgary. It's 475 miles from here to Calgary, and then I want to be able to talk to Jerry in dispatch when he gets in. I'll talk to him on the phone, not a text message, and find out what his plans are for me for tomorrow, because I'd like to have the truck off the road tomorrow and in the shop, and I'd like to phone them and actually book an appointment. This having the engine quit when you go over certain bumps, it's really frustrating. Thank goodness I didn't have to do much night driving, because when it does quit, what I have to do is turn the key off, and in this truck, when you turn the key off, the lights go off. So what I do is I turn the key off with the clutch in, and then turn the key back on and release the clutch, and the engine starts, and away I go. However, turning the key off at night would not be fun, because like I say, the headlights go out. So I want to get this fixed. It's hard to believe, but I've been watching all the staff arrive, and also the guys that are unloading me, and at least 90% of the staff, and they got a pretty large staff, are black. One of the guys that's operating the forklift is Jamaican, tell by his accent. So, as I say, pretty weird. All black people working in this store, a couple of Asians, and a couple of token whites. So offloading and left Canadian Tire at 7 o'clock this morning. Talked to Jerry, and looks like I'm not going to get that big chance that I wanted to get the truck in. He's got a load to Valleywide in Kelowna, and wants me to leave after I've got to Calgary and had my 10-hour break, so 2 o'clock in the morning or something, head to Valleywide. Then pick up an empty at Valleywide after I drop the full one, and go down over to Sunripe in Kelowna and pick up a load of apple juice or juice. And I don't really look forward to those loads because they're heavy. Anyhow, up ahead here, probably about 10 miles from here, is the weigh scale, and it's the one where you got to cross over the traffic on the oncoming lane here. You have to cross over, make a left turn, and it's a bit of a pain. And I would have so here's the scale sign, 2 kilometers ahead. Sure would be nice if it was closed. Nice sunny day like this, these guys don't need to be out working. And the lights are flashing, so the scale's open, and it's a left turn off the highway. One of these yellow lights are flashing for what? Divided highway ends. Can't see the flashing lights or the non-flashing lights for the scale. There they are. They're not flashing. Wow. Beautiful. I'm a happy camper with that one. Now we got a oversized load coming towards us, and my God, I don't know what it is, but it's a wide sucker. Definitely giving him some room. I find it interesting when you look at the side of the road here, where it looks like it's just covered in sawdust and tree branches and what have you. I have no idea what it is, and it goes for miles and miles. What they do with it or why it's there, I haven't a clue. If it's just left over from them cutting down those little skinny trees that they have over there. Typical for me driving, I've got wind problems again with an empty trailer now, so it's a bit gusty, and it keeps me busy steering. I'm doing 100 clicks or 60 miles an hour right on the nose, and the speed limit here is 110, I think. Last time maybe it's only 100. In any case, everybody's passed me. They're welcome to do that. What have I got? 7.3 miles to the gallon. And here we got another wide load coming, but I can't get off the road too much here. There was lots of clearance. This is one bumpy road. I'm looking forward to getting onto a little bit better highway than this. It bounces and hammers pretty hard at different places. It's a pretty rough road. I got 82 miles to go on it before I turn onto another highway. I would turn onto Highway 55. I'm on Highway 63 right now, heading southwest. So I'll just continue on. Oh, there's another wide load coming, so I'll just give him some room. Well, there's another one of those, whatever they are, person with a flag person up ahead, female by the looks of it. She keeps waving her flag around every once in a while, like she's in a parade. Here she is doing it again. Beats me what that's all about. The stop sign's up. I assume there's a wide load coming and they want us all off to the side of the road. So I'll sit here until we see the wide load arrive. I think I see it way back up the highway here. There she is, waving her little flag again. I know she's waving it at, but here they come. It's two more of those things that I passed earlier, these extreme wide load things. Kind of dumb having pickup trucks parked on both sides of the road, blocking making it, giving her less room. Oil rig supply equipment of some sort, or I shouldn't say oil rig, oil patch equipment of some sort. Whatever they are, they're big. After this one goes by, then I'm going to start moving again. Here comes another one of those things. Man, oh man. This has got to be, I don't know, probably 8 or more that I've passed so far. Wow. Whatever they are, they're certainly wide. More wide loads on this road than I've ever seen in my life. Seems like every second truck comes along has got a wide load. I guess this must drive the local, I'll say car drivers. I don't think anybody drove, well, it's the odd car. Here's one coming now. Pretty much everybody drives a pickup truck. And some good news for me. I was very concerned about some situations at home with my mother's health, and it's all being taken care of, so I can just keep running here. I'll probably run for maybe a week, 10 days, whatever. I know I need to get the truck in and get some work done, so I want to get that coordinated. Right now I'm just going to boogie on down the highway and keep heading for Calgary. I'm 300 miles exactly right now from Calgary, so that's indicating 5 hours on the GPS. And somewhere along the line, maybe around Red Deer, I might stop and get fuel. I'm half the tank right now, and still 7.3 miles to the gallon, mostly due to the wind. Just can't seem to get away from that wind. But the trailer's empty, so it's the best I can do. I just can't get over this. Here comes another one. They're just one after another after another. I've got to get over so my trailer is just kind of riding the shoulder there. I don't want my trailer hooking into the ditch. big to be built in Victoria at Ramsey's Machine Shop, and then barged over to Vancouver. There's no way they'll fit on the highways there. I just get a kick out of the number of them I've seen. I haven't counted them, but there's quite a number. And this one here would be a wide tractor, it's what it would be. That's something like my brother would probably just love to operate in the rice fields of California. This wind situation is getting worse. It's not very good. Really gusting and keeping me very busy on the steering wheel here. However, the further I go south, maybe things will smooth out a bit. There's almost white caps in the odd little pond along the way, white caps in the ditch. But can't control the weather, so I'll just mosey along. I just don't want to get flipped or rolled here with an empty. And here comes another scale, and once again it's not marked on my GPS. It's supposed to give me warnings when there's scales coming up 10 miles in advance. It doesn't even show the scale in Fort McMurray, and it doesn't show this scale here. The good news is that the lights aren't flashing, so the scale's closed, which is fairly typical of Alberta. They don't seem to have a lot of open scales. However, all it takes is one. And I've tried to submit different information to Rand McNally, and I have no idea whether there's been any confirmation or change. They don't email back or whatever. That scale is fairly well stocked with vehicles, so I've got to make a little turn up the road here. So turning on to Highway 28, heading towards Edmonton. So I'm going to be turning east in 1.5 kilometers. Right now I'm heading due south, and the wind is coming out of the east, pretty stiff and gusting, so it's blowing me around. Of course, when I turn east, I'll be pointing right straight into it. So my fuel average of 7.3, which is not fantastic for this trip, but it's good, but not fantastic, especially when I'm hauling an empty right now. So I'll be turning right directly into the wind, and eventually I'll end up heading back south again, so I'll have the wind on the side of the trailer. It's not fun, but we got an intersection coming up here where I got to turn left or east onto Highway 37. Wow, that didn't make a whole lot of sense. However, I've turned, according to the GPS, onto this Highway 37. Now I'm only going to go along this highway for 2 miles, and then it wants me to turn onto Highway 15. I guess I should have got the map out and had a deep check on that one. Well, we'll see where we go. I'm heading east now, so Highway 15 is a left turn. So that's going to get me pointing north, which would take me down the route I've been a few times before that goes down through Rocky Mountain House, Sylvan Lake, and comes out at Red Deer. So now I'm in Fort Saskatchewan, and it tells me to I gotta change a gear here. I take a turn off to the right here in 9 miles, and that puts me on Highway 16 West, which is the sort of the normal east-west highway to Edmonton. Very strange. Really sucks. I'm getting sent down some construction areas here for Anthony Henday Drive or whatever, so I'm not bypassing the normal route to Calgary where I go through Sylvan Lake and Rocky Mountain House, so I'm going to end up second, I'll turn that CB off. Yeah, so the CB was making a lot of noise, so now I just keep going through this construction, which is constant in Edmonton and Calgary. So I go down here for 6 miles, and then I turn on to Highway.
Continue on this road for 6 miles.
I had to change the gear there and also change the lane. So 6 more miles down here, I go on to Anthony Henday Drive West. Just real annoying, all the construction and all the changes and crap. You just go on and on and on. Eventually you get onto Deerfoot Trail heading south, so that's trucking. Just look over there. Who knows what it is? Just a pile of dirt, all kinds of piles of dirt, dust. Everywhere you look. I really did not want to go this route, which is going to take me, like I say, into Edmonton, and then, well, not into Edmonton, but anyway, heading for Highway 2. Then I'll have to go down through the scale of Leduc, which, like you know, from my videos, I don't like scales. Windy, but not as bad as it was. So we'll mosey on through, probably 15 miles of construction crap. Eventually get onto Highway 2 South, then down through Leduc, and the other side of Leduc is the wave scale, and finally things thin out and I get to cruise. I was really hoping to get a little bit of a pee break in before I got into all this schmozzle, but I guess that's not going to happen. They have lots of roadside pullouts in Alberta, but not until I get the other side of Leduc. So I'm heading down from Edmonton now to Calgary, and I don't know how well this will show up on the screen, but if you can see this haze, it's actually dust. And it's from the wind. The wind is coming out of the east, and I'm heading south, so I've got obviously the side wind. But you can, if you look in the scale, which is 10 miles ahead. I'm quite familiar with the scale, and optimistically it will be open, but optimistically I'll just go through there with my empty trailer, and life will just carry on from there down to Calgary. So you can see all the dust blowing up. It's blowing up from everywhere. Yeah, it's a nasty windstorm. Here comes the weigh scale. The lights are flashing, which means I've got to pull in. So here we go. You just hope they're just weighing, that's all. 'Cause I'm empty. That's Hinton done. It's Tuesday morning, 9:20 BC time, and I had forgotten about the biatch that I had to deal with there, and man, I don't know how anybody can go through life that being that nasty. All I had was 4 skids to drop off for them, and there was another truck there before me,